like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We're at it, some more Masters action. We have got WRG versus Pulse Gaming. It is going to be one for the ages. WRG just came out of a winning spree from the previous Rage tournament, so they are the ones to beat, and hopefully they can show us a spectacular performance this evening. They're going to be going against Pulse. Hopefully they can stand toe-to-toe against these new giants that are among us. I am Jabba. I am joined by Scarpy, and we are expecting a rocket of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. WRG, definitely the team to beat. Pulse Gaming, I mean, the roster looks, I think, a little bit different. And pretty strong players, of course, on both sides. I mean, this is a Masters division. There's no real weak links. And yeah, I just looking at the opening pick, apologies about just jumping ahead. The Nyx Assassin, one of Smacker's really hot heroes. He was playing for BVD in the previous tournament, the Mega 8. And his Nyx Assassin was really spectacular. I thought it did extremely well. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of that.
Well, I mean, so far the bans have come out really quickly. So let's jump through those very quick. We've got the Shadow Demon Slaughter ban out here for the side of WRG, making sure that they can't get the grimy little paws in the Shadow Demon. And a Pulse denying the Luna and Underlord pick. Still pretty strong heroes in this this new update. I think teams are struggling to actually deal with the Underlord, and Luna is just absolutely ridiculous in this new update. So not dealing with that. But WRG snack up the Rubik. We've seen it have quite a lot of success in the previous games that you and I have actually been a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rubik has had pretty good impact. I mean, we've noticed a lot in this patch. A lot of teams like to group up and fight a lot. It seems to be a real man-up sort of patch. And Rubik does pretty well. He provides two sort of elements, the Fate Bolt being extremely good, as well as the Null Field, which is going to help your team have that little bit of extra magic resistance. But other than that, of course, the abilities that he can potentially steal to turn team fights around. We've seen extremely good plays coming out of Rubik's, and hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of that.
Well, I mean, we've got the next pick coming out for the Vengeful Spirit. So Pulse may be looking towards picking up their offlaner as well as their support. I assume it's going to be a offlane next. I don't know if they're going to put it on support, but we'll wait and see. WRG picking up the Jugger, picking this one up before they can actually ban it out. Now, previously we've seen Jugger can be played in both roles, basically a core, your safe lane hero, or in the mid. I doubt very much that it's going to be a castaway Jugger, so I think that's going to be the core being played by Santo for WRG. Still got the Invoker in the pool for WRG. We know that is one of Castaway's known for one of those, for that hero, as well as the Tinker. So still a couple of heroes that Castaway can jump on. Pulse, they have got the the next band to go ahead and ban. What do you think they can go ahead and ban? They're going to ban out the Scylla, actually, the Lone Druid. Also seen him have quite a bit of success rate lately, going for that ranged attack.
Yeah, this Salabert is pretty strong this patch, I feel, so fair enough ban there. I think for Pulse, if they're going to look for something to ban, it's difficult to say a team must only focus on Castaway, but they do, as they ban out their Tinker. You just know, we've all seen it, and we're very aware how devastating that Tinker can be, so fair enough that they do ban it out. However, the Juggernaut could still be going into the mid lane. I mean, Castaway, he's more than capable of playing a hero like that, but I mean, WRG, I think that's going to be a dual lane, the Rubik and the Juggernaut. Very good combination. You can obviously use Blade Fury as well as the Telekinesis to set up a couple of kills. So we'll see that. But Pulse, I also like their draft so far. They got really good lockdown. They've got pretty decent control in these team fights. And it looks like WRG are going to have to be very careful about their positioning in these team fights, as Venge is even pretty good up against the Juggernauts. He cannot TP away from Avenge. Of course, the swap can go through his Blade Fury. So a really nice pick, actually, here from Pulse.
I do have a question, though. If the Nyx throws out his Spark Carapace, the Omni Slash is not affected by the Spark Carapace. Does it go through the Blade Fury as well, like the Avenger swap? Or will Jugger be pretty much immune to the Nyx Assassin?
Yeah, he's not going to worry about the Nyx Assassin, as it's not a spell. It doesn't pierce spell immunity. So his Blade Fury won't be too concerned as if he throws out a right click afterwards or anything. But the main concern is going to be that Venge. Make sure if he's going to Blade Fury TP out somewhere, he needs to make sure that that Venge is nowhere in the vicinity, because he can get caught out. Because usually your goal with the Juggernaut is send him out to lanes, push those lanes out, because he can safely return. But there are a couple of heroes that can definitely cancel that and put him in a precarious position, and Venge is one of those.
Well, it looks like they've got the Venge. Generally, what I've seen with the Venge pickup is you either have the Luna, which has actually been banned out for Pulse, but generally I see the SF being picked up in conjunction with the Vengeful Spirit. Do you think we could see the same, or do you think Pulse is going to look for a different mid?
Yeah, Shadow Fiend, very viable. Morphling also extremely viable here for Pulse. But I don't know. I think they picked up the Venge just to deal with the split pushing Juggernauts. I don't think they are solely concerned about pairing it up, unless maybe they had a change of heart here, or if it was potentially their plan. SF is extremely good, and it's just going to be a tough one to win the lane with something of that sort. So they're actually going to go for the Terror Blade here. Really nice. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of Terrorblade. He's just got high armor, so he can deal pretty well with Juggernaut, survive for a decent amount of time, as there's a lot of physical damage that does come out from Juggernaut. So, yeah, I like this Terrorblade pickup. And, of course, his Thunder can play havoc in these teamfights, especially on the level 25 tree, where he gets reduced cooldown on that.
Well, just let's not forget, let's just jump quickly onto the bans. Drow and Weaver being banned out here for White Rabbit Gaming. So also trying to deny that Drow pickup. I mean, if they did get the Drow pickup with the Terrorblade in Metamorphosis, it could have really done quite a chunk of damage to the lineup that WRG has. But the Shadow Fiend actually goes in favor of the side of WRG, and that's going to be a Castaway Shadow Fiend. So quite excited to see how that hero is going to face up against whatever Pulse decides to throw in the mid lane. What could Pulse actually now put in the mid lane to actually deal with him? And I think that is their response. It's going to be the Ember Spirit to actually deal with the Shadow Fiend. I don't think it's too bad. Sleight of Fist can dodge at least or one of the razors coming out from Shadow Fiend. Probably going to need a little bit of help in the mid lane just to secure a little bit of that Necro Mastery in the beginning. Do you think White Rabbit can actually pick up an Ogre? We've seen it have quite a bit of success, especially in with your heavy hitting right click cores where you can just bloodlust and they just start going ridiculously ham.
Yeah, I mean, Ogre's extremely good with Juggernauts, and they picked up the Clockwork, so they've shown what their their offlaner could potentially be. Could be a position for Clockwork. We have seen a little bit. Alliance was running it, and I'll be very intrigued. However, the matchup, the Ember Spirit up against the Shadow Fiend, Ember Spirit actually does come out ahead a little bit, as the Flame Guard can, of course, absorb a couple of the Razor's damage and make it a little bit more difficult for the Shadow Fiend. But I'm pretty sure Castaway has dealt with this matchup a couple of times, so he'll be very aware of the issues that he might be facing. And he's going to be aware that once that Flame Guard's maxed out, it's going to be 2 Razors to bring that down before he starts to actually take any damage. So it's a difficult task, but I think if anyone's up to the job, it's more than likely going to be Castaway.
Well, the fifth and final ban does come out here for the side of Pulse, banning out the Dazzle, getting rid of that sneaky little bugger. As soon as he gets, I mean, I've played this Dazzle a couple of times now in the new updates. On the talent tree at level 25, you can pretty much spam out your poison touch, which kind of renders your hero completely stunned for the amount of mana that you actually have. So, besides the other benefits that he brings to the team, just absolutely ridiculous. So White Rabbit Gaming, they ban out the Ogre Magi and they actually pick up the Chen as their fifth and final pick. So that's going to conclude the draft for WRG. Pulse now looking for their last hero. Depending on what position, I think the Nyx is going to play is going to depend on what this pick is going to be. If Nyx is going to play the off lane against the clock, then they are now looking for their second support. If Nyx is going to play support, they're looking for their off-lane. And Darkseer it is going to be. So that is going to be a position for Nyx and an off-lane Darkseer. How do you feel about the draft as we move into the game?
Well, WRG definitely is saying what they want to do. They're definitely going to send that Chen into the jungle, collect the army, and look to push on these towers. They got the Juggernaut as well. The healing water is extremely good. This is very reminiscent of a couple of patches ago. I think about 4 patches ago, this was quite a common pickup. WRG and Bravado were running it almost every single game. The Chen as well as Juggernaut. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how it actually works out. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of teams want to group up and fight, take objectives very quickly, and Juggernaut and Chen are just a very classic pickup. Looking at Pulse Gaming, they've got pretty strong lanes. I feel like it's going to be Darkseer and Nyx dual lane with Venge and Terrorblade dual lane. So their lanes are pretty strong. They could potentially punish the greed of the Chen from White Rabbit Gaming, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. I mean, Rubik Juggernaut, they're very defensive. They can keep themselves sustained in lane. The Clockwork is the only one who should be under quite a lot of pressure in the laning stages.
I'm a little bit worried about the Chen pickup. If he runs into a middle of a team fight and you've got the Slider Fist coming out from the Ember Spirit, he deals pretty well with heroes or creeps that are in a close proximity. Is going to really knock down those creeps' HP quite a bit and potentially be a little bit of a problem for White Rabbit Gaming. But they still decided to pick up the Chen. Do you think the Ember Spirit can actually clean out those creeps that the Chen brings to those team fights?
Well, usually the main goal for the Chen here is going to be to do it quite early, so the Ember won't really have the items. He's more than likely going to go for the Veil build. I can't see him trying to get the Battle Fury. The Battle Fury will also come a little bit too late after losing a couple of objectives. However, I do feel a little bit of concern on the same point that Helmets of Dominators are pretty cheap items, and even the supports can get them, so he can very quickly lose his army and have them turn around on him, so that can be a bit of a concern for him to deal with.
All right, well, this is going to be the first game, WRG and Pulse Gaming. It is the Master Series, ladies and gents, so hold on to your hats as the two teams are going to start making their way out of the fountain. Playing on the Radiant side, we are going to have Aghanim going to be playing the Terrorblade. We're going to have Doppler going to be playing our Vengeful Spirit. Old New, Old Burning. I do apologize. I do not know the name, so we're going to have to. Is it Smacker?
Yeah.
Smacker. Why don't you change your name, my friend? Anyway, so that Smacker is going to be playing our Ember Spirit. Infamous Lubos is going to be playing our Darkseer. I think that would be Rage Boss.
Yeah, Rage Boss indeed.
Rage Boss. Well, there we go. So now that the cryptic clues have been given out, that is going to be the side of Pulse, with the exception of Fady. He's running through the jungle over here, going to be playing our next assassin. Please take it away for the side of WRG, Mr. Scops.
Sure, going over onto the Dire, of course, that's going to be WRG. Schling's going to be playing over here on that Rubik. Chidawi going to be playing over on the Juggernaut. Castaway going to be playing over here on the Shadow Fiend. Whelp going to be playing on this Clockwork. And Sanso back onto that Chen. He was really dominant on this Chen when I was talking about how strong the hero was. So very interested to see sort of a little bit of role changes, I suppose. But yeah, I'm glad to see Chidawi back in the safe lane. I want to see how he's going to fare. But I am very aware that Sanso's Chen is something to behold, at least as we get ourselves underway.
Well, just having a look here. So it's going to be the Terror Blade with the Vengeful Spirit in the bot lane going up against the Clock. They're going to put Fady here as well. So it's going to be this defensive tri lane coming out here from the side of Pulse. In the top lane, we've got a Rubik. Schlink's going to be trying to go ham against here. Rage Boss just trying to keep Doxia off Shadrawi as Jugger's going to just try and get in those last hits. Jumping onto the mid lane, not actually helping Castaway in terms of last hits or securing that initial beginning part there for him. So it's going to just be a simple 1v1 matchup from the start of the game. Pretty much going to go easy peasy in the mid lane here. And no, not too much pressure here on the Ember.
Wow, 9 denies though on Castaway, 10 denies now. He's really collecting his souls. He's not really getting the CS that he would like, but he is definitely making life a little bit difficult here for Smacker. And this is a very tough task for him to come back from. Once his souls are up, it's going to be very hard to outlast the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and that's what that support is actually supposed to be there for in the beginning. But Castaway feeling very confident, not actually having to do that. But well, taking a chunk of damage, actually going to have to walk through the Radiant jungle over here. They're going to try and see if they can find anything here. Doppler, no, they're going to actually surrender, just actually farm up the creeps here. So not too much happening in there. Chen, he's just simply farming out the jungle as what Chens would do. And probably from there, we'll probably see a couple of rotations once he gets to level 3. But Whelp just trying to prevent this farming happening here in the Radiant side of the jungle here.
Yeah, this is... I mean, well, he actually nearly got a kill there on Fatty. Fatty had to be a little bit careful there, but had to turn around a little bit of potential. It's the second time that they've put a lot of pressure onto Whelp. He had to use a salve a little bit earlier on and got forced out. And woof, mid lane actually, Smacker taking a lot of damage here from Crossway. Both actually having to expend their salves. So, yeah, but I believe that's a bottle on the way here for Castaway, so he'll be pretty happy with that. And the Ember should be getting his pretty soon.
Alright, well, top lane, I mean, Rage Boss having a jolt of a time here, actually putting a little bit of pressure onto the Rubik, not preventing the Dogs here from causing too much problems here to Shadrawi, but still taking quite a chunk of damage.
Well, rotation into the mid lane here, they do have the purge creep, so if there is a flame guard, they can quickly purge it off, but it's going to be exposed here, and Smacker, he's going to be privy to this and be able to back himself on that. So Sanso, a little bit of time wasted, but it's not the end of the world, I don't imagine.
Well, they do get the rotations from the bot lane. Paul's trying to make something happen here. Also being smoked up. At the same token, we've got Chen sitting in the lane here at the bottom. They're going to try and find out Rage Boss. He has actually used his Surge. It's off cooldown at the moment. They're going to try and see if they can find it. Stage Creep does actually connect. And First Blood going in favor of Shadawi. Beautiful little kill there coming out from the side of WRG. Perfectly done. For a second there, I thought that they weren't actually going to get that kill. That Stomp was actually going to miss. But they do get it. Chen safely TPs back to base and wipes it off. So 0-1 going in favor of WRG in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, quite surprised that Smacker maybe he saw the one creep, so maybe just thinking it was randomly sent to the mid lane by the Chen, so not really calling it as the Chen missing. Didn't really see the Chen, so maybe Rage Boss overextended just a little bit, but I mean, First Blood, that was really good. Well played from the Chen again, purging him up, getting a good stomp, and making a good fight for himself.
The supports here from Pulse not being able to actually rotate quick enough. They rotated mid, didn't get the kill on SF. So denying a lot of kills there. Mid lane though, Ember taking a chunk of damage. Castaway could get a kill here mid. Perch keep just right clicking away. Gonna slow him down. Gonna go. Another kill going in favor of WRG. Castaway. Easy kills on the uphill. No misses as far as I saw. So RNG in favor of the SF.
he had one miss, but I mean it wasn't there. It was just such a cheeky play here from WRG. They get the purge creep, and as soon as he throws on Flame Guard, they purge it off, and then he can get the damage with his magical or with the Shadow Razors. So no concern there for castaways to have to throw out extra Shadow Razors. Now they're actually going to smoke themselves up, potentially look for another kill here onto Smacker. He needs to be very, very careful. This is a precarious spot for him.
Oh, he's being punished. He does get the first raise off, doesn't get the second. Going to try and get the third. He does get it, and another kill going for Castaway. Nice rotations coming in from center, and net purge creep. Are you going nowhere, my friend?
Yeah, he actually landed all 3 raises, but unfortunately the purge
The
just
flame,
didn't come off. So it was cancelled by the flame guard. So that's still, again, Sanso just making his presence known on the map, and it's a very, very big concern here for Pulse, as that's 2 deaths here for Smacker, who usually does fine in this matchup, but just because of Sanso's presence, very, very difficult task.
Absolutely. I mean, you said Ember should stand a little bit of a better chance going up against the SF, but beautiful rotations coming in from the Chen, so being able to make those plays rather quick and rather easy. And now with his dominance, I mean, already sending Smacker back on a 3rd HP, he's in a little bit of trouble. He only got 1 bottle charge to his name, so he's under a lot of pressure here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That was super quick. Before we even knew it, middle raise, long range raise, and sniping from a distance.
This is the problem. He has to be careful. He needs to make sure he's got his flame guard up, and he got caught out there a little bit. Even a little bit of a taunt coming out from Castaway. But Smacker is having, well, what many would say is a very difficult lane for himself. 3 deaths on him. This is not what you want to be. I mean, if you have an Ember, you want to be a little bit ahead. You want to get the veil up early.
Oh, Santo being spotted out. He's going to get stunned out. TP's not going to be good. We're going to see the death of Santo very, very shortly over here. He's going to run to the creeps, try and see if he can deny himself to the creeps. Does he get it done? And he does not. Rage Boss getting the kill. Beautiful little iron shield being able to bring him down eventually. And yeah, Santo being caught with his pants down in the Radiant jungle. Smack in the mid lane, taking a chunk of damage here from Castaway. So far, WRG bringing the punishment here to the side of Pulse.
And I mean, Sanso, it was bad time that he got caught out there. Surely he must have known that he was going to look for another wraparound, and well scouted there from Pulse. They are still a little bit behind. I don't think WRG are too concerned about that death, but they'll be definitely happy to make sure there's nothing happening. Ooh.
Top lane, easy peasy for the side of WRG. Slings gets a telekinesis off, pulls him back into the Shodrawi, right clicks, tries to drop the wall to kind of stop the harassment, but not good enough. Fade Bolt actually doing the business there, bringing down our poor Rage Boss in the top lane. So it's a little bit of a problem here for the side of Pulse, as WRG are in quite a dominant position at the moment, trying to get some kills here on the board for the side of Pulse, or a couple of more kills for the side of Pulse. Got a very deep Avenge sitting here in the backlines, trying to see if they can actually find Whelp. Even though the Terrorblade hasn't been put under too much pressure, I mean, compared to his opposite, the Jugger, I mean, he's sitting 10 CS below what the Jugger is. Do you think that WRG still need to do something about the Terrorblade? Do you think they're just biding their time until the Terrorblade comes online? Is it going to be enough?
I don't think they're too concerned about the Terrorblade. I think they want to just make sure they get their levels up. They're doing pretty well at that. The Clockwork has got such good levels in his lane, actually hit 7 already. And I mean, you'd expect the Darkseer to actually be ahead, but Rage Boss has died twice. He got 1 kill for himself, but hasn't had as nice of a lane. I suppose just because of the pressure in the mid has forced these supports to rotate out, and means Whelp's going to get quite a bit. So I don't think they're going to be all too concerned about the Terrorblade. The Terrorblade needs quite a lot. I see he's got his Helmet Dominator already, so he has pretty much Pulse's answer to this Chen. They're going to try and turn his creep on him. And I do expect the Chen to also be building a Helmet Dominator here. I can't imagine not. Actually, in fact, he's already got the recipe. So that's... It's going to be a war between trying to steal each other's creep in these pushes, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they deal with this.
Oh, well, it makes it super exciting to see who can actually get the Dominator creep and actually push out the mid lane a little bit quicker. I think it also helps in the early parts of the game, getting that Dominator up. It just helps accelerate your farm just a little bit. And if that's the case, then Chen runs into battle, dominates all his creep gens, and then before you know it, he's got nothing to show for it. So maybe it's keeping the helm so that any creep that actually gets dominated, he can dominate back and it becomes a domination war. So, I mean, who knew that we're going to be playing who's got the bigger dominance?
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 heroes on the side of WRG have Helmet Dominators queued. So, I think their intentions are pretty much shown here. That they are definitely just going to collect a huge army of creep and just run them at you. So I'm curious. Probably Rage Boss is going to be forced to have to purchase one himself. Other than that, you don't really want to force one onto your Ember Spirit. So this is interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to be intrigued to see this huge army sort of build up and then look to take objectives and see how Pulse are going to scatter around to try and deal with it.
Do you think that the Chen pickup was to force these kind of pickups, the Helm of the Dominator, or do you think Aghanim would have actually still had the Helm of the Dominator in his general build?
Helm of the Dominator is still a great build. By all means, the stats are extremely good. Having an extra creep too, especially on a farming hero like Terrorblade, you can have impacts on the other lanes. You can really send like a Centaur to the mid lane and have some sort of an impact.
Or
there,
bot lane though. Well, throwing out the hook shot lands as the magic missile comes down, and Aghanim picking up a kill here on Whelp, being caught just with his pants down. But nice little sneak around coming out from Doppler here, getting that nice little gank, actually forcing the clock to actually make a play. Fady in close support, and then Aghanim's just doing the right clicking things that a Terrorblade does. So putting another kill on the board. Pulse not going out with a fight, staying close in it. Smacker though, not doing too great at the moment. I've got 89 gold, anything in the courier for him at the moment, and everything being flown out is going to be for Aghanim. So that is pretty much all Smacker has at the moment. It can't be that's all he has.
Yeah, he's poor. He's more poor than the Chen at this time. So
2,000 net worth. Okay, so Smacker having a really tough time in the mid lane, but top. Rage Boss trying to put some pressure on Yashadrawi, taking quite a chunk of damage. Did have to actually Blade Fury out. Does have Omni Slash online. So if he had enough mana, that could have been a little bit of a dead Rage Boss in the top lane for them.
Yeah, Rage Boss, he needs to be very careful. Seems like he's going to go for the mech. He's not switching up his route to build into the Helmet Dominator. So this is going to be tough for them. I don't think they're aware that everyone's building. They should now scout out that Castaway has an extra Gloves of Haste, and they're going to more than likely assume he's not building a Hand of Midas.
Oh, Schlinks in the bot lane, gets reflectioned up, going to be slowed down. Telekinesis up onto Smacker. He's not going to pay with his life, and he does go down. Flame Guard just too good. Whelp just too far away to actually make something happen. And this just kind of tells you what kind of lane Whelp has had. He's actually been able to go back, get himself a Hand of Midas. So he's going to be a pretty happy chappy for an offlaner to pick up that Hand of Midas at, say, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, he's done extremely well. He did skip out on boots, but it's fine. He has only died once in this lane, and that was a little bit unfortunate for him. Other than that, he's definitely going to be happy, and he's going to be a very big concern for them. He's going to be initiating from long range. He's going to get that blade mail up in very good timing. It's going to be very difficult to fight into him, and he might even still build a Helmet Dominator as well, just to
insult injury.
Right now, yeah.
It's going to be super exciting to see if that actually does happen. Chen building up quite a bit of an army over here, trying to see if he can just get his farm up. At the moment, things have been a little bit static, seeing if just waiting for WRG to come along. But here we go. Doppler in a little bit of trouble, get caught out by Whelp and giving themselves another kill here to the side of WRG. Does he even steal the bounty? No, he doesn't. Smacker able to be just quick enough to actually snack up the bounty room. Although now at the moment, Fatty is level 6, Vendetta up. Whelp taking a chunk of damage. Metamorphosis is trying to get close enough to right click him down. And a kill going in favor of Smacker. Desperately needed on our Ember Spirit for him to stand toe to toe against our SF.
Yeah, Smacker doing a great job finding himself a couple of kills here and there. It's going to mean the world of difference to him here. As I actually might look for something on Castaway, yeah, but this is a scary, scary individual to be taking on. he does have a whole bear smasher. He also has a perch creep. Ooh.
Top lane, Omni Slash coming out, bringing down our poor Rage Boss. Beautiful little rotation coming in from Santo once again. Rage Bot's a little bit overextended, but now mid lane, Castaway getting the kill there on the Vengeful Spirit. Even with two of the heroes here, Castaway being able to go toe to toe. I mean, talk about a reverse gangbang, and it's paying with their lives.
Yeah, I mean, he used the Hellbear Smasher to great effect. And I was actually watching in the top lane here, Chdawi, he's just farming up his own illusion, because of course you get gold for it. So he's just making an illusion of himself and farming it up for 5 gold every now and then. So that's a little bit cheeky.
Easy gold.
And, yeah, easy gold indeed.
Bot lane though, losing the Terrorblade, Whelp getting a beautiful hook shot off, and a nice little support there coming out from the Rubik, actually stealing the Conjure image, so having to deal with a couple of more. Top lane though, Rage Boss trying to get himself out of there, actually surge himself forward. We've got this beautiful little creep throwing down the whirlwind, trying to see if they can catch him. Surge, another Surge coming out. Santo trying to see if he can find him. Runs through the fog of war just quick enough. Now he's trying to see if he can actually dodge through this. Fatty on their necks. He's trying to see if he can actually try and find out Santo over here. Oh, Rage Boss. He does run back straight down to Shadrawi. Actually, Iron Shell's up Shadrawi now, but he's going to focus his attentions on Santo. Iron Shell just too good. Creep actually holding him in place. Not going to be good enough. But now Rage Boss trying to get out of there. Blade Fury coming out. Now Castaway says, I want a piece of this. Throws out a random raise, almost bringing him down. Second raise coming out. Not finding the business. Missing the third. But Shadrawi picking up the kill over there. All that going down. Fatty getting out of it. Beautifully done from the side of WRG. Rotating in Castaway. Getting that done. But they do get the kill on Santo. So not one of your high priority kills. A better kill coming out for the side of WRG as they do kill the off lane of the Rage Boss. Bot lane though, top lane, a little bit of pressure. We've got those rocket. What's the battery assault.
I'm not sure if there's an issue there. But,
right. Well, I think I'm back at the battery assault. Battery assault causing a little bit of damage there to our poor Vengeful. Does hit the deck now as well. So sitting 5 and 11 off the 40-minute mark. Net worths are looking super in favor of the SF at 7.8. Jugger sitting on 6.9. And then closest will be the Terrorblade. But now bot lane, Whelp trying to catch out the Terrorblade. They did get him, taking a chunk of damage, and he does go down. Surrender even used, but still not being able to deal with all of that and going down mid lane. Fights happening all across the map this game round. Castaway picking up a kill on Smacker as well. So huge kills going left and right. Now we're going to have a fight here in the top lane. Shadrawi in a bit of trouble, trying to see if they can chase him down. There comes the Terror Wave, trying to look for a creep to deny himself, and Shadrawi killing it. Shadrawi as Rage Boss actually gets the kill. Now Castaway getting the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. He's not afraid, this man. He's going to try and run up the hill now as well. But the Shadrawi illusion just putting on a little bit of love there onto Castaway. So things going very much in favor of WRG at the moment. Pulse finding it very difficult to find their footing.
Yeah, they can find a couple of kills, but it doesn't really help them. But it's actually Castaway who could potentially be falling here. I don't imagine he's going to miss this. Oh, he throws out the ulti, but it's not really going to latch on too much. This should be his death, I imagine. But he might just turn around and get a kill onto Rage Boss here. No, he won't. And finally, they'll bring down the beast that is that Shadowed Fiend. And that's a decent chunk of gold, 800 into the pocket of Fatty there. So they'll be pretty happy with that. But at the same time, they're going to exchange a tower here as we slowly see the little army start to build up as they're going to seem to try and find more objectives.
Is this the call to push? Is this the moment that WRG says, right, boys, let's try and get a couple of more objectives, take down the tier 2s, start bringing down those sanctuaries that can provide so much TP assistance. Pings do come out. Got a big rotation coming out from the back here, though. Doppler just trying to drop down that observer ward to see if they can actually spot anything here. Whelp trying to see if he can actually find a hook. He does. He finds Doppler. This is going to be a big problem. Already one down here for the side of Pulse. This could be another continuation for them to continue pushing in here. As that's happening, Smacker in the top lane trying to make something happen. Castaway not joining the fray just yet, just sitting in that mid lane trying to push down those creeps and clear that wave up. But, I mean, you've got 3 powerful heroes sitting in the bot lane that really do have the potential to push here. May not be higher ground, but definitely looking at doing a little bit of damage. It looks like they're going to actually focus their attentions now on this tier 2 mid.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got a creep, and the army is big. They got a siege wagon from their opponents. This is a bit of a concern here. Clockwork taking a bit of damage here. Chodawi's going to be diving a little bit deep. I don't imagine they're actually going to look for too much. They're going to actually just buy a bit of space for these creep to fight, and they knit him up. They did turn that creep, and then they stole it back again. Really interesting stuff. Paddy, he's going to be fighting it up here, and they just keep on just sieging. This is the problem. The creep are so strong. They got the healing wall to keep them sustained, and it's almost impossible for them to deal with this push.
It's making it very difficult, and at this point in time, even WRG getting that rotation on. Looks like they're going to take top tier 2 now as well, and before they know it, they're going to have lost all their tier 2s in a matter of moments. Going to be able to start working on the shrines.
Yeah, and this is pretty much how a lot of teams are playing anyway. It's not a real big surprise, and now there's 2 siege wagons. This is a major amount of damage for buildings. I mean, this is also going to help them bring down shrines. I actually was watching a game the other day where one of the players just left the wagon or the siege creep on the shrine and eventually killed it, and the opponents didn't manage to deal with it. So this is a big push coming out from WRG.
Paulson not yet willing to actually commit or actually make a play. They're going to take down the tier 1 mid. No TP here for Aghanims. He's going to have to walk his way back. We got a TP on Avenge. Next, he's got a TP as well, and so does Smacker. So only Aghanims. He's going to have to walk his way back to base before they actually start knocking on tier 3 here for the side of WRG. There comes a slider first from Smacker, trying to put a little bit of damage onto Whelp. Whelp trying to find that opening. We've got that creep throwing down the net, keeping Smacker. It does. Whelp finds the Venge in the backlines. Trying to make a play here. Next gets caught out. He comes down. Shadrawi, he's in a lot of pressure now. Throw the Iron Shield doing quite a chunk of damage, but Omni Slash coming out from him. Requiem coming out. No kills coming out there, but Santo taking down the tower, losing the Nyx, going in favor of our Chen. And now Smack in a little bit of trouble. Stolen the stun coming out from the Nyx, and now we're going to see one dead Terrorblade getting a double kill here for the Rubik. Double kill for SF, and a big team fight already pushing up the racks. Top lane of racks is done 19 minutes into the game, and the strategy that White Rabbit Gaming are busy playing is the bigger the army, the harder they got to go down, and already taking down tier 3 in the mid lane. We got the Venge sitting here on the sidelines, maybe trying to see if we can actually find something. Swap is available, maybe trying to work down Shadrawi. Healing Ward is out. They need to deal with that if they want to make a play here. Bringing down this melee Rex rather quickly. It does go down. Range Rex next to fall. It's going to be a big play here. Blink Dagger up onto Castaway. Net coming out from the Chen creep. Gets stunned out. They're looking at pushing a little bit forward here. Do they have enough to actually push onto the bottom lane of Rex? And I think the call is actually going to be to actually just move out, farm up the jungle, and look for the next objectives, which is probably going to be taking down the Sanctuary. I do hear the swap coming out. They do find our poor Chen. He's going to be one dead Chen. He's going to go down as well. The stun coming out onto both Shadrawi as well, onto the Rubik. They do find a little bit as they try and exit out. Smacker trying to find Shadrawi. He's going to find it. Flame Guard just doing too much damage, but actually the Iron Shell bringing him down here from the side of Rage Boss. So nice little counter kills coming out here from the side of Pulse.
Yeah, some interesting items here on the Clockwork. You went for an armlet, and actually, there's going to be a little bit more action here. Well, hook shots in, gets stunned up a little bit here. He is in a bit of a precarious spot. He'll fall once again, and looks like it's Castaway who's going to be in a bit of trouble. He's got the axe. Look at how he's going to turn this around. Can he get a second? Oh no, it's just too much armor on Aghanim. He goes for the raise. It's going to be just off the mark. He'll find himself a third with his death. Oh man, he really turned that fight. If he got that one raise, that would have been insane. That would have been an ultra kill for him, even if he died.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely ridiculous. Aghanim playing really well though, staying behind the trees here, trying to just maybe soak up a little bit of XP, but still playing very cheeky. He almost went down to the second Requiem, and yeah, very lucky here for the side of Pulse, actually not losing more players than what they did. But I mean, considering what had happened, I mean, they took down Shadrawi, they took down Chen, they took down Rubik, and then before you know it, they just turn around and Shadrawi, Castaway and Whelp just go toe-to-toe and take out 3 of them just with the SF and clock. So beautiful knowledge of the limitations of their heroes.
Yeah. So there are 3 stolen siege wagons or siege creeps for the side of WRG. This is a lot of potential damage onto buildings, and it's so difficult to bring them down, especially if you're focusing in a team fight. So this is again very difficult for them. But I want to touch on it again. Very interesting build. Omelette picked up here for the Clockwork. He is playing up against an Iron Shell as well as Flame Guard, so that's a difficult one. But a big jump forward from him, and you'll find that Venge who's in a lot of trouble. And yeah, I mean, having the omelet's great because that means there's a lot of potential extra damage done during your blade mail time.
I mean, just we're gonna maybe actually see Smacker actually biting the dust over here. Santo also going down, but Shadrawi getting that return kill. So trying to make a little bit of plays quite far at the base. I don't think that if that was the actual play, defending the high ground probably would have been a little bit better. But I mean, just looking at what Schlinks is building at the moment, he's got his Aghanim Scepter. I mean, he didn't even choose to go for Blink or Force Staff or anything like that. I mean, he felt, I need to get myself an Ags.
Yeah, that's fine. It's gonna hope with some extra range you can get some decent abilities here, and it has a low cooldown. So if you do slip up and get something that you don't really want, you can just quickly trade it. So that's pretty sensible actually coming out from him.
Hookshot available, does guard. Venge being caught. Blade Mail going to be doing some work here. We've got per little Doppler does go down eventually. Now Rage Boss jumping in, getting us off a decent Rage Vec wall over here. There comes Fetty in the backlines, trying to work on Whelp. Castaway throwing out the Requiem just at the top here, and now they lose the bottom melee racks. They're trying to see if they can push out WRG out of this. They're going to take down the last lane of racks, going to be giving them megas, but Castaway does bite the dust. Rage Boss does go down as well as Whelp, and now they're trying to bring down the last Rubik, and he does go down. Shadrawi trying to see if he can get himself out of dodge. The stun actually missing from Vedi. Santo coming to the fray, trying to see if they can help this out. Barback coming out from Rubik as well. So a couple of barbacks coming out here from the side of WRG. I think they're looking at trying to finish this up right here, right now. Doppler getting that magic missile off onto Santo. Guardian Greaves going to be good. Blade Fury trying to work down Smacker as well as Doppler. Doppler going to take a chunk of damage. Does go down, hits the deck. Slider Fist trying to clean out those creeps. Smacker in a little bit of trouble. Throws down those links. Going to keep them in place for a tad longer. Slider Fist doing quite a chunk of damage to Santo. He's got like a 3rd HP now. But Healing Ward is down here from Mr. Shadrawi. Going to keep his team well sustained as they look at pushing into this bottom lane of racks. Just the throne is open. They're going to take down these tier 4s before they can start whacking away the throne. Stole they stole the stun from the Nyx. Gem has come out, so Nick's going to have to play a little bit careful over here that he doesn't get too close to Castaway and to the boys. Rage Boss getting off that vac wall. Going to be able to run away. Iron Shell doing a chunk of damage. Schlink's going down. Gem is on the deck. Do they actually see it? Santo? It could be in a little bit of trouble. Rage Boss trying to find him out. Beautiful hook shot coming up from Whelp. Keeping Santo alive long enough. Castaway does go down eventually. Shadrawi trying to Blade Fury the team to death. Not going to happen as 4 of them are allowed for the side of Pulse. And right clicking away, says Shadrawi. Now Smacker trying to bring down Whelp. Got the Blade Mail up, so if Whelp decides to do something, blink forwards here from Rage Boss, getting a double kill here to bringing down Whelp as well as Shadrawi. Now, Aghanim's trying to see if he can actually make something happen here. He doesn't actually have Metamorphosis online just yet. 6 seconds to go, but that's it. They've actually taken out the side of WRG. They do have Megas, but Pulse pushing in, and that is it. It is pretty much GG, well played to go into the side of WRG, as the throne cannot be withheld, and Pulse do hit the deck. So game 1 going in favor of White Rabbit Gaming. Pulse and just not being able to get to getting themselves into a good position, and big problems here for the side of Pulse not being able to close out their game. But I mean, White Rabbit Gaming top of the mountain at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think MVP in this game is going to be the wagons. I mean, they lost the team fight, but there were just so many wagons that they couldn't stop it from breaking down all the buildings. That was a really cheeky draft coming at you from WRG, and it definitely it was successful here. I don't know if it's very viable, but it was definitely is an eye opener.
Well, just looking at the after-match reports before the lobby does go up once again, just looking at the net worths, Castaway sitting with the highest, sitting with almost 16k gold. closely followed by Shadrawi, and then the clock. From there, you've got the Aghanim Terrorblade, the Smacker Ember Spirit, and so forth. But a little bit of a tough start for the side of Pulse, not getting up the farm that they so desperately needed on Smacker, and Aghanim's just being pretty much a non-starter.
Yeah. This is the thing though. The Smacker, he came online eventually, and when he did, he made pretty big impact. He found himself 9 kills, considering the position he was in the laning stages. It looked like he was going to struggle, but I mean, he managed to come back. I think the most difficult thing was the purge creep. Just gave him absolute problems in the mid lane and allowed Castaway to actually dominate that lane. So this is probably a little bit of a learning curve here. When you pick up that Ember Spirit, you got to be careful of these potential things, and it definitely hurt him there. But yeah, Smacker, he had a tough time in lane. I think Aghanim, he got his farm in lane, but he had to start to sort of join his team a little bit too early to what a Terrorblade would have liked. And I mean, that was pretty much what we could have seen coming, as they were just playing very, very aggressive WRG, and that's pretty much what their draft is rotated around.
Yeah, I mean, they got some beautiful kills on Smack in the early. Now, what I've seen in the previous games this week is that a lot of the supports that get those early rotations off and don't actually find anything off those ganks, like the Venge and the Nyx in the early parts of the game, try to find the kill on Castaway after the center rotation. I find that the teams generally have a weaker start if those supports actually leave the lane.
Yeah, that's quite true. I mean, we saw how much the Clockwork got out of his lane. The supports had to move, and the Clockwork was able to hang around, and the dual lane from WRG was strong enough to deal with their offlaner. So just having the chain roam around and make the difference on the map, it just meant that they had more avenues of finding farm for everyone, controlling up the lanes, and sort of retarding the farm potential that their opponents had.
Well, with game one under the belt, moving into game number two, WRG sitting in the prize seat at the moment, sitting 1-0. Pulse need to bring it to the side of WRG. But things have gotten rather interesting over here for Pulse, banning out the Shadow Demon and Tinker, then White Rabbit Gaming, or Brevidi, their new name is supposedly called, picking up the Slaughter and banning out the Slaughter and the Underlord. Now we've got some crazy pickups happening so far in the draft. Let's start with the Luna being picked up for the side of Pulse, and Brevidi, also known as White Rabbit Gaming, picking up the Pudge and now the Lone Druid as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, Pudge is I can't emphasize it enough. Is very viable, and they've got game one under the belt. They have it pretty convincingly, so they want to try out the Pudge. By all means, good practice for them. And I mean, at the Lone Druid, we've seen how extremely scary that hero can be. A lot of teams have been trying to get him out in the first phase, banning him out, but Pulse they opted to rather just make sure no Tinker for Castaway. And this time he might be playing on that Lone Druid, could potentially be going into Whelp or even Shadawi. We'll see how they opt to lane it. But the Luna pickup here for Pulse, it's a bit risky. First pick Luna, that means there's potential for aggression. They banned out the Shadow Demon themselves, so clearly they have another plan up their sleeves.
Well, they actually didn't. They had first pick, so it doesn't give them that dual pickup, but they do actually opt to get the Crystal Maiden. Going to be one of their supports. Now, it's not often we see the CM being picked up as a viable support for teams. I must say it's probably one of the first times I've seen the CM being picked up. That beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, gorgeous baby being picked up as a support for any of the teams in a CM.
Yeah, CM is. I wouldn't say it's tier 1 pick, but it isn't. It isn't terrible. It's a tier 2 pick. I mean, we watch pro games and we never see a CM right up until we see the TR finals, and then they start picking up Crystal Maiden. So the heroes clearly has impact and has some sort of course, a global impact with the mana regen. But a lot of people underestimate how good Crystal Nova is. Crystal Nova's damage output's extremely high. and it's also a very good team fight controller. She's got decent CC as well as her ulti. It's very, very expensive, but it can do a hell of a lot of damage if you can't control that CM.
Well, the ban's coming out once again. Pulse banning out the Castaway. SF did quite a bit of work in game one. If you did miss it, bringing down Smacker, reducing the amount of farm that the Ember could actually get under his belt, and became a little bit of a problem, and had a very tough laning phase. So Pulse banning out the SF as well as the Ember now. Bravidi banning out our Nyx and Weaver. It's going to put them into the position of where they can pick up their next hero. Now, this pudge, we've seen it being played as a roamer, but in pubs, we generally see it as a mid. Is this going to be a Castaway pudge, or do you think it's going to be a Santo pudge?
Well, I think roaming position is where pudge should be. Even in pubs now, for anyone who's listening, I feel like the pudge should be on that roaming position for just so much more impact there. He sort of deals with these lanes that are hard to get to. He's very good at using the tree lines. So I'm almost certain it's going to be a position 4. But then again, WRG have done illogical things like steal 17 carts and send them at the enemy's base and just win a game like that. So, I mean, I would love to see a Castaway pudge. I don't think I've ever seen one, but I do feel that this is going to be a Santo pudge.
Pulse, pick up the Invoker. I mean, denying if it's not going to be a Castaway pudge, it's now going to be an Invoker mid here for the side of Pulse. What do we stick up against Invoker? They could do pretty well.
Well, there's quite a lot of options, and that's actually a good point. Another strong hero for Castaway is a puck, but yeah, I think they got quite a lot. Queen of Pain's also pretty nice. It's maybe they're gonna look for an OD just with the pudge. The synergy is pretty strong. But again, I feel like it's difficult to sort of anticipate what WRG are going to be picking up because they have game number 1. They might be trying something very unorthodox here, practicing something, or just trying out something that they've maybe been talking about. So
a safe lane storm.
This could be a mid lane Batrider as well, which doesn't do too terribly up against the Invoker. And it could even be a mid lane Rubik. That's pretty viable as well. So it's hard to say up against the Invoker, but I'm very keen to see Smacker's Invoker. I feel like the previous game didn't really display Smacker's skill. He had a really tough time in lane. It was pretty much Santo's Purge creep up and Castaway up against him. So I would like to see him get an opportunity here to display some of his skill.
No, that would be great for us to spectate that. Great for the viewers out there to see a beautiful Invoker play. So hopefully Smacker can get some good work done on the Invoker. Yet to really find out what the lanes are going to be from the side of WRG. Gone with pretty much a very closest hand, a very closed hand of cards. White Rabbit Gaming not really showing what they're planning on to do just yet, but they do ban out the clock here for the side of White Rabbit Gaming. The last and final pick or final ban to come out from the side of Pulse. Then they will be able to make their play. But I do like the Rubik, considering there's a chunk of spells on the side of Pulse that Rubik's going to actually have an absolute field day in stealing spells. You can pretty much look at any of these heroes so far to actually pick up any of those skills.
Oh yeah. I feel like WRG. I don't know if you've ever gone to Food Lovers Market and gone to that sort of thing against the wall
section.
where you just see all the
the
jelly
sweets.
beans and they're like, I want that one and I want that one. This is what's going on here. It's like I want to play Pudge now. I want to play Rubik. And
when a kid walks into a candy store, this is what the Rubik game is going to be.
Yeah, there's just so many options, and I mean Rubik he's gonna have a field day here. I mean, I don't think Smacker's gonna give away big abilities. I think it's not gonna be the easiest task for Rubik. But I mean, the previous game, the Rubik did fine. I want to see some really flashy plays this time around with the Rubik as well as the Pudge. And of course, very good combination. I mean, you just telekinesis and it's a very easy hook for a Pudge. So it's actually very scary dual combo between the Pudge and the Rubik.
I mean, there's the synergy between those two heroes are going to be huge. And now, with the X being picked up here from Pulse, how does that change the entire draft? They've now got a really big frontliner that can stand in the front lines, try and deal with the Pudge, try and deal with the Lone Druid, depending on if he actually decides to go into the true form or if he stays as the range. So it could be a little bit of a difficult game for the X to land a couple of calls. But they got a frontliner. They've got something that can actually keep their distance between the Invoker, the Crystal Maiden, and the Luna. Hopefully the Luna looking to actually pick up the Hurricane Park that will give her that little bit of extra range so she can stand out of the fights and actually right-click down the heroes.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's interesting pickup there on the Centaur. But the Axe, actually quite a nice pickup here. The Lone Druid, if he's going to be in the range form, he has a very low HP pool, so a quick call, one or two counter helixes and the dunk can come through, and the Lone Druid can be in a bit of a pickle. So this is going to be a little bit of a concern. They got to keep an eye on that timing of the Blink Dagger on the Axe. So seems like everybody DC'd. Yeah, we're going to have...
That's going to probably be a remake.
Yeah.
Right, well, we will be back shortly. Well, in fact, we will go nowhere. We'll keep you guys super entertained as we're going to jump back into the lobby. So we've seen the draft already. We know what's expected. What do you think that we can expect from Pulse this time around? How do you think they're going to be able to stand up against this this team?
Yeah, well, I feel that Pulse have the better draft. It's going to be all down to execution right now. How they're going to deal with the lineup of WRG. I like the Centaur pickup from WRG at the end there. However, can really just turn fights around. The Stampede's going to mean they've got some sort of safety net for themselves. So, Pulse, I mean, if they're going to have a chance to beat WRG, this is the game. And they're in a good position. It's now just going to be, again, down to execution and really just the shot calling. And I think the main thing is for Pulse just to make sure that Smacker gets an advantage in his lane. That can make the world a difference. That's assuming Smacker doesn't switch roles and play on that Axe, because I have seen that quite a lot.
Well, I mean, it's going to be really tough for Pulse going into game number 2 with already a loss to their name. It's it's also a huge demoralizing situation that Aghanim didn't get or have the amount of impact that he wished to have as the Terrorblade being very well controlled from the side of WRG. Smacker taking an absolute beating in the mid lane. So it's going to be a little bit of a tough, I think, from a point of morale to try and go into this game. WRG sitting in a very confident position, knowing what their limitations are, and gone with a little bit maybe of a more comfortable draft for the lads, or maybe something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think WRG's is just very different. Pulse, it makes a lot more sense. There's very good synergy there. You got the Ogre Magi with the Luna, and Invoker. We're gonna see how they manage with that. Okay, so actually, it is going to be Smacker Invoker. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how he does this time around up against the Lone Druid in the mid lane. And it's going to be a tough ask. As, yeah, it looks like it is definitely going to be a range druid as he's picked up a Wraith Band for himself.
Oh, look how cool Santa's Centaur Warrunner is. You'll get a better image when they unsmoke. But the side of WRG, they're bringing the action for us. They have smoked up. Going to try and get a rotation off. They're going to leave Castaway on the Lone Druid to snack up that bounty room. But it looks like there's a 4-man hunting squad trying to snuff out the blood here of Pulse. We have got Aghanim as well as Fatty here in the top lane. Walp, he's closing in. Can he get that telekinesis off? He has actually leveled it up. Hook has not yet been leveled up yet, just out of range to actually get that happening. And the boys are actually going to be able to just walk it off. So it's going to be 2 bounty runs going in favor of other teams, as even Pulse going to be trying to take this bottom bounty. The bear is here trying to prevent any shenanigans happening. But the side of Rage Boss and Doppler, they're not going to have it, trying to just beat down that bear. So bounty runs 2 apiece, crossing the map vertically as opposed to horizontally this time around. And Rage Boss picking up the bounty here for the side of the Radiant, and a couple of pings coming out here from Santo. Not too impressed about Schlinks picking up the bounty run, and that. Look at him go! Look at him go ham, Santo. He's not too happy with Schlinks, but nonetheless, amazing skin coming out here from Santo. Really loving it, and just chaffing his way here. Mid lane though, we've got Doppler putting on a bit of a pressure here onto Castaway. Smacker trying to get some stuff done here, taking a bit of damage here from the creeps as well as Castaway. So, I mean, mid lane is going to be a little bit more difficult for Castaway this time around. They've actually committed having the Ogre Magi to support Invoker just a little bit more in the beginning parts of the game.
Yeah, this is pretty sensible by them. Put some pressure onto Castaway. They realize it's a 1v1 lane for Rage Boss up against the Batrider. Not favorable by any means, but he can sort of deal with it. He might need a rotation or two pretty soon. But yeah, this the combination here on top between the Rubik as well as the Centaur is quite a scary one. There's no Hoof Stomp though. We actually went for the double edge first, but once that Hoof Stomp is up, career snipe? No, Doppler's not going to be able to get it. But he's actually going to walk straight into Schlinks here, this is a bit of a problem here for him.
Oh, it does throw down the Ignite. Going to slow him out a little bit here, but Schlinks taking a chunk of damage. And he may actually go down here. Doppler trying to find a little bit more. He doesn't have his spells of cooldown just yet. And Schlinks surviving. I mean, that looked like Ogre Magi was going to be the one in trouble here, but turns around Schlinks.
Yeah, that Ancient's aggro, his rot just nicked them, and they aggroed him, so he took a lot of damage from those. But yeah, still keeping the pressure here on Castaway wherever he can, which is definitely the right idea. Buy some space for this Invoker, who's still not actually having a great time. If you look at the last hits departments, he did go Quas first, so he doesn't have some extra damage. There's going to be a Quas Wex build here on Smacker. But yeah, this is very, very interesting stuff.
Well, it looks like things have actually swapped out here for the side of Pulse. They've actually sent Aghanims to sit solo against Shadrawi. Shadrawi playing very aggressive, rotated right around the tier 1 tower there, and taking a chunk of damage, both salved up, being able to sustain through the lane. But now sending X into the jungle, going to be able to just shrine himself up already at the 3-minute mark plus minus to try and make something happen there. But mid lane still going to be a dual lane in the mid, so things getting rather interesting here. But rotations coming out here from the side of Pulse. Rage Boss as well as Fetty on the CMNX going to try and see if they can actually find something over here. Mid lane though, we've got Castaway in a little bit of problems. Base trying to hold Smacker down. This may actually be first blood, and it is. Invoker going down, getting a little bit too aggressive. They actually might find a Doppler here as well. The second kill here going for WRG, and Hook gonna seal the deal and bringing him out. Bot lane though, Rage Boss getting the kill on Shadrawi. Telekinesis being brought out here from Whelp, trying to see if he can try and at least get a little bit of a return kill. Dodging through the trees. Call not actually going to latch. Actually stopped it. Still got it available. Is he going to be able to call again? He does, catching him just on the edge. Rage Boss, you absolute demon. You catching out poor Rubik on the side there. And immediate TP back in here from Shadrawi. Maybe he can see if he can turn that around, pick up a little bit more. But immediately, Axe TP's back to base. Gets himself out of that precarious position now. So, I mean, decent. Pulse, they going toe-to-toe this time round. 2-2 in the early parts of the game. Found a strategy that's giving them a little bit of an advantage here in the early game. And this is a decent start for the side of Pulse.
Yeah, they found themselves 2 kills, but again, Smacker is under a lot of pressure. A lot of rotations are coming in onto Castaway here. And this is really tough to fight up against the bear. He went for the Quaswex, so he'll have a decent amount of regen as long as he can stay alive. And it looks like Castaway might just lose his bear here, as a lot of them are actually pushing on into it. But that also means rotation potentially here for WRG, and it's going to be Smacker. And a lot of trouble will go down, and the kill will go to Whelp. They're actually going to look for more, and Fatty on that squishy little queen. She's in trouble. They're going to lose 3. In fact, double kill going to Whelp. That is huge. Really big.
Oh, and bot lane Shadrawi picking up the kill here on Aghanims. I mean, getting 4 kills across the board. All they have to do now is bring down Rage Boss in the top lane, and that would be almost a team wipe in the beginning parts of the game. The call coming off just in the nick of time. I've never seen timing like that in my life. But now, look at this. Schlinks in the sidelines. If they can actually throw out a random hook, they may actually be able to find Rage Boss over here. They do telekinesis is going to be good, holding him up, and that is pretty much 5 dead players for the side of Pulse, not at the same time, but in a short duration of one another. Mid lane, though, Schmacker taking a smack load of damage. The bear is going to eventually go down, and Castaway's bear is actually now 14 seconds left on cooldown, so he actually did resummon it from the beginning parts of the game. And Aghanim still taking a chunk of damage here from Shadrawi on this elusive Batrider.
Yeah, 84 seconds until you get a bear again. That's a very long period of time. But Smacker, he's in a bit of a pickle. Yeah, I kind of see him getting out of this one, and he'll go down. And this is just savage from them. I like to see the switch around here. So Welp is now on the support role, and Santo's playing on that centaur. Really, heroes that Santo plays extremely well is the Chen as well as the centaur. So really glad to see WRG doing this and realizing, okay, if you're better on the hero, you're going to be playing it, and quite sensible at that. But it seems like Chidawi, he should be under a bit of pressure here as the supports are hanging in the tree line looking for some sort of lockdown on him.
Well, he does have Firefly available, so Fatty and Doppler going to have to find something to make something happen here. Walt does approach, does go down to Eclipse eventually from Aghanim's. Well, actually doing a chunk of damage, but actually the kill going to Fatty, so being able to snack himself up there, a beautiful little bounty there for himself.
Yeah.
Mid lane though, Smacker could be in a bit of trouble. Hook does go out, does the land. Now Schlink's chasing him down. Castaway trying to get in a piece of the action. Dust is going to be good, and Smacker does go down. Castaway picking up that kill, even from the low ground. RNG not in favor of Smacker.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bleak here for Smacker at this stage. He's having a really tough time, and again, just these supports are putting so much pressure on him. He went for the Quas Wex build, so it's really difficult to last hit in this matchup. I mean, in fact, surprised that he actually got as many as he does, but it's actually top lane now. Rage Boss looking to potentially turn this around on Sansa here. They get a decent amount of damage, and it looks like it's actually going to be a bit of a turnaround, as here we go, the Pudge is going to join the fray, and it's Rage Boss who should go down, and he will. The kill go the way of Whelp once again. Now Sansa, he's quite low. Whelp did manage to steal the cold snap. Yeah, could turn it around onto Smacker, but there's a lot of rotations in. They're going to have to be forced on out. Sansa still hanging in the tree line. You're going to see if he can find something. Maybe he was going to poke his head for that. Oh, the hook is great. Shlink's going to just eliminate the Crystal Maiden. And that's just savage. Absolutely savage. Sanso, he doesn't even need to go back to base. He's got the Vanguard up.
I mean, Santo, one tanky mother effer at the moment. I mean, it's so much to actually bring him down. Gives enough time for the rest of WRG to actually TP in, get those rotations off, and find those beautiful kills there on the side of Pulse 2 going down. But now Shadrawi pulls out the lasso, catches out X, throwing down the firefighter, actually fighting at Schlinks, getting off the hook onto the X. X goes down. Aghanim's taking a chunk of damage. Fire Blast not going to actually catch him. Shadrawi running over the trees, and that is going to be one dead. Aghanim hits in the deck, and the rotations from Pulse not being quick enough as TPs were on cooldown. Now, maybe this is the opportunity for Welp just stealing out Cold Snap at the moment. So there's going to be a nice little spell. Can actually do a little bit of devastation here to the side of Pulse, but Pulse playing off the back foot at the moment. Very difficult for them to actually find their footing. And something I've noticed in this patch is this patch or this update is really around the supports of the game. I mean, the amount of impact that the supports are having on the success is so drastic. I mean, even in this series, even in the series that we've got an opportunity to cast previously, I mean, we just see the opportunity. But in the mid lane, though, Smacker throws out the tornado, not catching on anything at the moment. Rage Boss running in like a crazy man, not going to find anything, and they're going to just be able to walk it off. So Pulse not being able to pick up anything just yet, and already cast away Shadrawi, putting pressure on this tier 1 bot lane. Looks like Shadrawi may actually be looking to actually block off any rotations coming in from Pulse to defend this tier 1, but they've given it up. They're not even going to send anyone to defend it.
Yeah, I don't know if you have your net worths open, but there's a bit of a trend there. But meanwhile, mid lane is actually the Invoker who is going to fall. But yeah, the net worths, all 5 of the top net worths are entirely WRG, and then the rest of Pulse follows, and that's only at 10 minutes. This is a 10k net worth lead at 10 minutes.
Yep.
Even more, almost 11. That's huge. But another kill potential here onto the Pudge. So this will be nice for them. They get a little bit more potential, even the Bear. But the Bear is actually going to find himself a kill. Now it's actually Castaway. He needs to try and get himself an out. He's pretty quick, very high base movement speed on the Lone Druid. But he is slowed up by the Ogre for this time being. But here we go.
That blocking coming out from the Bear was ridiculous. Lesu out on tag, and I'm going to try and pull him over here into the high ground. They're going to be able to bring him down. They're going to try and see if they can bring down this Bear. They're going to actually use the Sanctuary at the moment, and they're going to probably lose Castaway's Bear. We've got Shadrawi in the backlines, trying to see if he can actually re-engage over here. They decided actually not to. Whelp throwing himself forward in there, almost getting it done. Throwing the telekinesis back out of range of the hook, so maybe a little bit of a misplay there coming out from Whelp, as that hook would have been good and brought Rage Boss into the fray. But Schlinks doesn't have enough of it, throws that Dismember down onto Doppler, but now we're going to see Fady going to hit the deck. CM just not tanky enough, and now Rage getting off a one-man call, only finding Whelp, but Whelp so tanky at the moment. They actually may be able to find Doppler in the background. Rage Bot's a little bit tanky at the moment, but Castaway seeing if he can bring him down. Schlinks getting a perfect hook onto Smacker, but the Shrine is down. Whelp bringing down Rage Bots, and now they're looking to see if they can bring down Doppler as well. They do. Castaway picking up himself another kill, and now Smacker trying to see if he can survive through it. Castaway, he's still chasing him down. Fast little bugger there. He's actually decides to relinquish the chase, pull out, and go back to doing Castaway things, picking up the bounty run for cheek's sake. And yeah, I mean, huge fight going in favor of WRG, sitting 19-4 at the 12-minute mark. And we had a look at the XP graph a little bit earlier, net worth graph. Let's take a look at it again. How quick it's accelerating. That is 15,000K in favor of WRG at the 12-minute mark, and 10,000 experience in favor of WRG. So things are not looking too good for Pulse at the moment, and a little bit of pressure. Bot lane, no, Shadrawa being caught out, and he's going to eventually hit the deck. Going to our Fady on the CM, picking up himself that nice little kill there. 402 gold in his pocket. Going to be rather happy with that.
Yeah, they just so poor. I mean, your Luna is more poor than both the supports on the opposing side. This is very, very problematic for them. This is a massive margin. And, I mean, look at Castaway. He's not afraid of anything. Does have a DD up. Yeah, Fatty must be careful. This trade might not be favorable. But, actually, there we go. A hook onto Rage Boss here. Can he get himself on that? No, he can't. Tries to TP. But he should pay with his life here. So, yeah, I mean, Castaway found himself a kill. Actually, oh, what a hook! Oh, that was insane! He catches that Doppler. That was a really big play here by Schlinks. And they'll find that kill. And again, just more kills flowing over to WRG.
I mean, this is this is like really, really a tough position to be in. Now, they've kind of just left Aghanims out of it, and they've just kind of said, right, go to the bush and try and see what you can get done. I mean, he's really, really poor at the moment. He's trying to build up to his Dragon Lance, finding it very difficult to even find it. He hasn't even finished his Aquila. He's even put that on pause, trying to see if he can close that gap on the Dragon Lines. I don't think it's going to be enough, but I mean, Pulse, they're still hanging in there. Do you see, what do you see Pulse doing to actually bringing it back in favor?
I'm going to have to be absolutely honest with you here, Jabba.
Yeah.
I don't see any avenue for comeback here. The Lone Druid is just too far ahead. The Centaur is just extremely far ahead. He's just got so many items. The only way that they can really win this is on the back of WRG making tremendous mistakes. And I suppose that's viable, but I suppose that's what they're hanging in for. If WRG, they got this huge lead and they get overzealous now, they could potentially make some big errors and they can get some gold on board, and maybe then we can really talk about what they can do. But right now it's going to be on WRG. It's theirs to lose.
So it's the WRG show at the moment, and rightfully so. Oh, look at Whelp and Schlinks actually being caught up here by the Ancients. Not going to be too much of a problem now. Shadrawi comes in just to help them out. And even Santo jumping into the party over here. Does he have Ags yet? No. So they're looking for something a little bit more. Yeah, they're going to be putting pressure on this tier 2. Going to just leave Castaway as a bit of a debate to see if the side of Pulse is actually going to fall for it. Do they not? It looks like they're actually making their ways to the mid, but before that happens, Shadrawi top lane gets tornadoed up. Cold Snap going to be good. They've got the Frostbite going out. Going to keep him in place. Not going to be enough. and Shadrawi is going to be able to walk it off. Whelp jumping forward, blinking forward, trying to do something here to smack her, but now Rage Boss in a huge amount of trouble. He's going to throw down the call. Shadrawi does go down, so nice little pick up there from Rage Boss. Now Stampede going to be used out, and Santo picking himself up the kill there on Rage Boss. Now Fatty does go down eventually. The double edge too good, but Schlinks, can this man get off those profound hooks? We're about to see. All he needs is one eye on the Aghanim. Can he actually make it? Oh, and he just misses by the skin of his teeth. Actually not even seeing where he went. Just threw out a wild hook. Not being able to bring down the Ags. And surviving through it. So badly in need of farm at the moment. Another death to her would have been absolutely devastating.
Yeah, this is... it's still a very big ask here from Pulse if they're going to look to do anything. So, I mean, it's pretty much just this WRG show. And I'm just keeping an eye on Schlinks. He's landed some really sick hooks. And I just want to see a couple more. Chidawi, he's looking for something. He's got boots of travel before he even went for Blink. He went Ether Lens as also.
Look at Whelp.
Very unorthodox draft. I mean items.
Yeah, well, Walt playing super aggressive, being caught under EMP. Makes you go down. Yeah, call's going to be good, but Invoker still goes down. Smack a hit in the deck. Fatty going to be entangled out by the bear. Now, Aghanim's under a lot of pressure. Actually getting less suited up, and last to fall will be the Ogre Magi, but Rage Boss trying to TP himself out here. Can't do anything about it, and Schlinks just doing the rot dance, and Rage Boss surviving through it. Only one to survive here for the side of Pulse in that team engagement. But I mean, it just shows you the confidence that WRG has. I mean, Whelp was sitting in this position over here, and then all of a sudden, the side of Pulse was sitting here. WRG was still on the other side of the river, and Whelp still making plays for his team, being super aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, this is very, very unfortunate turn of events here. This game is not really going the direction I would have hoped it to. The Pulse, they're hanging in here, but I mean, it seems to just be one-way traffic constantly in this game. But I don't know. It seems like they still feel that there's some sort of hope amongst themselves.
Well,
they must surely have discussed it. 5-man smoke. Here we go. This is the play. This is the GG call.
Well, he actually immediately reveals smoke. He blinks out immediately, getting the telekinesis off Rage Boss, trying to miss the call. Not going to land. Stampede coming in from Santo, but we've got the Crystal Maiden throwing down the ulti, being cancelled out by the Pudge. Now the Bear entangles out. Poor Ogre Magi gets lassoed up as well. Aghanim still taking a chunk of damage from the Firefire from Santo, and Aghanim going down to the last right click there from Shadrawi. Fatty hits the deck in the back lines, and that is a team wipe in a matter of seconds after smoking up. And Castaway doing the jig. Boys should be really happy at the moment, taking off their team fight. And Santo running through the base like an absolute wild man. And yeah, knocking on tier 3s at the moment. This is not the way Pulse wanted it to go. They had a little bit of a tough laning phase, and just couldn't get that farm onto the Luna as well. So, I mean, could the lone druid be the mid hero of this patch?
He could be. I think it's very hard to tell from this game. They just dominated every one of their lanes, but he is survivable.
Rage Boss getting the dunk off in the nick of time. EMP going to land down on Shadrawi. Schlinks trying to get himself out of there. Got no mana now, says the Invoker. You can't do anything without that. Bear going to go down, taking a chunk of damage. Will be Castaway, but going to be able to walk it off, get himself out of that position there. Rage Boss looks like he's going to try and look for more. Got that blink ready and available, almost getting enough gold for his blade mail. Getting the call off, perfect timing there to pull Santo back, but it's the wrong hero, taking so little damage. Actually going to shrine up, taking a bit of damage. Schlinks in the back line, getting down the poor Fatty once again. And now we've got Doppler trying to chase down the Lone Druid. Not going to happen. So Castaway surviving, but throwing down that Deso, revealing that, as well as the Maelstrom, doing a chunk of damage. Even Rage Boss can't even tank through that now as well. And Castaway throwing down that Raw and getting the Dismember off the Rage Boss. And that is it. The boys tap out. GG, well played. Called out here from the side of Pulse. Not the best showing here from the side of Pulse, but as what we would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, that's definitely a point, but on the other hand, WRG just exerting their dominance here, showing that they are the strongest team, possibly in the Masters, possibly in South Africa at this time. So this is it's a very, very concerning thing for all the other teams that are watching this game. More than likely, a couple have tuned in just to see what WRG are where they're at, and it's potentially going to be a little bit of a concern here as they see WRG are just as in good of a form as they were before the break. So this is looking very scary. But Pulse, they're still a solid team. They got solid lineup, solid players. I still think they're gonna at least contest quite a bit here in the Masters. They got a couple of games that they could potentially take on, but WRG definitely seeming to be the favorites this year again.
No doubt that any of the teams in the Masters do definitely have something to bring to the front. So best of luck to the teams as they do progress and start snacking up the points for one another. So at the moment, WRG taking off or taking the game, this series, putting themselves in the money seat at the moment. Paul's got to go back to the drawing board, try and work on a couple of things and see if the boys can snack up a couple of points as the league does continue. But I think from myself and Scarpy, we thank you for joining us, watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed the game. If you do want to watch us, if you do want to follow us, you can hit me up on Facebook at Jabba Gaming. I'm on Twitter as well as YouTube. Streaming most of the games throughout the week and throughout the month. So give us a shout out there if you just want to stay in tune with the SA scene. Scarps, where can peeps get hold of you if they wish to?
Yeah, of course, on both Twitter as well as Facebook at Scarpy Dodo. That's with the double A. And yeah, try to post as often as possible about anything that we know of, especially in the South African scene. So be sure to follow.
Excellent, guys. Well, from myself, Jabba and Scarpy, wish you a pleasant Thursday evening, a great Friday, a amazing weekend, and good things to come. From myself and Scarps, good night and God bless.
Possibly in the Masters, possibly in South Africa at this time. So this is it's a very, very concerning thing for all the teams that are watching.
You can't stop it now. You can't stop it now.